Hi, everyone. This is Paul, and you're listening to episode 6 of the Generation Latino podcast. Guys, I hope that you're having a great day, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is where you're at. I hope you're having a great time doing whatever you're doing, especially if you're listening to this podcast. But I do have a question for you. Are you single and dating in 2025? If so, good luck. Just kidding. Believe me, I understand the struggle of dating in 2025 and being single and going on dating apps and whatnot. So I get it. But according to Google, there are over 1,500 dating apps. Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish. Those are just a couple of them. And according to Google, it is also a $9 billion industry. You know, you would think with so much money being pulled in on these apps and the opportunities to meet people are just greater and greater, that people would have better luck dating. And, you know, according to the people that I talk to, my friends, people that I talk to, they're having a very hard time dating in 2025. And what do you think those issues are when it comes to dating in 2025? You know, especially online dating, because we live in such a fast-paced world that we don't really have time to meet someone organically. We don't really have time to meet someone, you know, at the grocery store. You know, the odds are very slim to meet someone at the grocery store or at the park, you know, because every time I know I go out to the grocery store, if I even go out, if I don't do curbside pickup, everyone's on their phone, their AirPods are on. So we're not even in a space to take that in if that's something that's going to happen to meet someone organically. But, you know, I just feel like we're never really in the moment. So let's talk. Let's dive a little deeper into episode 6, dating in 2025. Good luck. All right, guys. So we're in 2025. And for anyone who is single out there, trust me, I understand. One of the big topics in therapy for me is what I want in a partnership. Because, you know, do I enjoy being single? Yeah, of course I do. Of course I enjoy it. Do I want to be single? I would like a partner. I would like to be with someone who I can share my life with. And, you know, I'll give you a little story before we get into dating in 2025 online. We'll go over some, you know, things that I felt have been helpful for me, saving time, energy, not wasting it on some douchebag or some asshole. Like, let's, you know, we'll talk a little deeper on that. But when it was interesting. Y'all know this by now, but I recently graduated in December. And I remember, the graduation was over and everybody was kind of walking to meet their family. And I was meeting my family as well, like after graduation to meet up, take pictures or whatever. And I was like, for the first time in a long time, I thought to myself, man, I would really like to share this moment with someone. It would be so nice to be able to, you know, because it was such a big accomplishment in my life. And of course, I love sharing it with my family. I love sharing it with my siblings, my mom, and my nieces and nephews. I mean, it was so great. But at the same time, I was like, man, it would be nice to see, to go to someone's arms and hug them and be like, babe, you did it. And it was funny. I saw my friend's like husband, you know, like looking for her, and I thought, man, I wish there was a man looking for me after graduation. No, there was no one looking for me, but probably my mom, my brother, and my sisters. But it's just funny because in my mind, I thought, man, it would be so nice to have that. But anyways, that wasn't my story. Maybe when I get my PhD, I can have someone too. But anyways, that's the romantic part of me. That's the part of me that, fantasizes about, happily ever after, which I do believe in fairy tales, and I just think that they're hard to come by. But anyways, back to being single in 2025. I was having this conversation, and I'm always having conversations with my friends. A lot of us are single, and we're just like, gosh, like it's so hard to date. And and let's just put it out there, online dating it's where it's at. It's where we're at. Like I said, it's a $9 billion business. There's 1,500 dating apps. So we're going to talk about online dating and the pros to it, the cons to it, and everything in between. Okay, so I am all for online dating. I know there's people who are like, no, I don't like online dating. I want to meet someone organically. Well, girl, good luck. We're not in the Partridge days, the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch era where you don't have technology and everything just taking up all your mind space. Like, we don't live in that world anymore. So it's going to be hard. Can it happen? Yes, you can meet someone at work. You can meet someone getting your oil changed. My dream of mine is like gonna go get an oil change and there's a hot guy servicing my car and I'm like, ooh, but that hasn't happened. Although there are some really hot men who change my oil and I'm like, dude, are you sure you're not? Okay, whatever. But that's like a dream of mine. Yeah, anyways. So online dating, right? So I actually met my ex-husband online and it was a very good experience for me. Even though I'm divorced, I still enjoyed the process of online dating. And let me tell you this. I talked to some friends of mine and even some family members, and they're like, because they know the dating world right now is so chaotic and uncertain, and people are dating like 5 people at the same time. They're dating every fucking generation. You have a man dating a Gen Z, a millennial, Gen X, a baby boomer. Like there's savages out there. And because there's so much options now with online dating, you just got to be very careful on not getting caught up in the bullshit of it all, because you can. I know many people who have gotten caught up with the online dating craziness, because it happens, because it's just so easy to have access to people. You can be literally like single you can have your boyfriend break up with you at like 5 p.m. and go on a date with another guy at 9 p.m. Like that's how quickly online dating is. And it's meant to be quickly, but at the same time, I think it's us who has to slow it down, who has to be like, okay, wait a minute, let's get to know each other more. So for me, let's talk about the pros of online dating. I think it's easier to meet people. It's easier to connect on a very surface level, and it's very quick. If you don't like the way someone looks, you just swipe left or push the X button. That's a really good thing about it. I think another thing too is you have a lot of options to choose from. And again, 1,500 apps. You're gonna find someone. And one thing about online dating, you will never be lonely if you need someone to fulfill your need or whatever it is. You will never be lonely because, there's just so many options out there. So those are the pros to online dating. And there's so many success stories out there. I would still consider my marriage a success story of online dating. I think when you do it right, it works well. All right, so there's not many pros to online dating. Now we're going to talk about the cons of online dating. And just as much as the pros were very, beneficial to the single person, just as many options as you have out there, it's very hard to keep someone's attention. when you're dating online, because you are just, I don't want to speak from, but from like, you're flooded with messages. You're flooded with messages and likes and everything, every perk that you get when you're dating online. And I know for me, I always tell people, like, I'm not going to go on a date with you unless we have spoken on the phone. So that's one. I know so many girls and guys who are like, oh yeah, I just met her. We haven't spoken, but we're going to meet up at a restaurant. And I'm like, wait a minute. You don't even know what her voice sounds like. You don't even know what she likes. Like, at least have a conversation on the phone before you go on a date with someone. And I even take it a step further. I have a FaceTime with someone before I go on a date with them. And if the energy's right, then let's do it. Like, I'm so down to do it. I'm so down to spend time with someone if it's worth it. But what I'm not going to do is just randomly go on a date with someone who I have not even heard their voice. And I think a lot of people skip a lot of steps when it comes to online dating. So one of the cons to online dating is you're able to create, just like social media, right? You're able to create the perception that you want to whoever's looking at you, right? So if you're on a surfboard and you're, working at local charities and offering your time at the food bank, like, you're only seeing that, which is a great way, right? Because with online dating, you only have kind of one shot to impress someone. You don't really have a lot to do. You're not having conversations with people. They're not really getting to know the real you. To me, it's just like what's the word that I'm looking for? It's almost like a image board, if you will. It's like a quick, okay, cute. They're educated, cool. They like to play sports. I like to play sports. It's very much surface level. So I think people get caught up on the surface level. And I always tell people, make sure you present not just the best version of you, but like a version of you that you can explain and talk about. If you put yourself up with a tennis racket and you don't play tennis, you know what I mean? Like, and they're like, hey, I saw that you play tennis. And then you're like, oh yeah, I just went out that one time to go hit. Like, do things that you can really talk about on a first date. Do things that you can really talk about. If you play basketball every Sunday at the YMCA, put yourself that you like playing basketball, because what happens is that you're going to go on a date with someone that you have no conversation with. And for me, when you're going on a first date with someone, you want to make sure you have things to talk about, right? Like, you want to make sure that you have content to talk about. And a lot of the times people's profiles are blank. They are not the best profiles. And I always tell myself, like, why did this person even have a profile up? Like, they're wasting a lot of time and they're wasting a lot of energy. So some of the cons that I come across are, people not responding. They're just on there to, be there to because they're bored. And for me, like, if I'm going to be on a dating app, it's because I want to date. And be transparent. I think a lot of times with online dating is that people aren't transparent in what they want. And they say they want a family and kids, and then on the first date, they're like groping you and dry humping you. I'm like, wait a minute. What is this? I thought you wanted love and family. I thought you were a Christian. I thought you were. I thought you went to Catholic school every Sunday, and now you're like groping me. Like, it is not matching. So a lot of times too, when I'm on dates, they're not like matching. Like, it's not matching the profile. So for me, I'm like, dude, if you're gonna go online date, like, have the profile match the person. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I'm like, wait a minute. You're presenting this, but I see you in person and you're that. Or it can even be like they have all this energy on their profile. They go kayaking, they go hiking, they go for swims, and Then I meet them in person. They're like quiet. And I'm like, okay, you could have put that you're an introvert because you're not even talking. So I think that's what's interesting. And again, those are some of the cons, right? Like people are not transparent. You don't really know what you're getting. You're just basically a number to a lot of these people. And it is not easy. Again, going back to people telling me like, you know what? I don't even want to be in the dating game. It's a game. Whether we want to believe it or not, dating is a game. You can say, oh no, it's not a game. Yes, it is. It's a game. And like any game, you got to be on top of it. You got to be on top of it. You got to make sure you're winning. You got to make sure you're not losing. Make sure you're not wasting money. You know, I was talking to this guy at the gym, right? And I have like the most random conversations with people, but he is not from here. He's actually from the UK, and it was his first time ever being in Texas, right? And he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm having a hard time. You know, I'm wasting a lot of time and energy dating. Like I'm meeting these girls online and we go out, I spend money, nothing happens. I go out, I spend money, nothing happens. You know, he mentioned that he went on a date with this girl. She chugged down a glass of wine and that he just was not happy. I said, look, before you go straight to the date, have you considered at least having a phone call with them? Like a screening, right? Like almost like a pre-screen, right? And he goes, no, I never done that. I was like, look, if you're interested in someone's profile, chat a little bit more, because the goal for these online apps is to progress outside of them. I don't think you should go straight from the app to a date. No, I think you should go from the app to either a phone call, a text, get to know each other, and then go on a date. That's just my opinion, and that's what's worked for me. I've eliminated a lot of bullshit because of that. I'm not going to be, oh my God, swipe right, let's go meet up. No, there's hookup apps for that, and that's not me. I'm not, I mean, at the moment. I'm just kidding. So I told him, I said, look, the next time you like a girl online, instead of going straight to a date, have a phone call with her. Have a FaceTime with her. See if you even like her to even go on a date in person. So we talked for a good while. We were chit-chatting. It was me, him, and another friend of mine. We were all there kind of just chatting at the gym. And so I gave him that advice, right? A couple of weeks later, I kid you not, I see him at the gym. I'm like, hey, like, how did it go? How's it going? Like, how's the dating? Like, how's your dating life going? He's like, actually, I took your advice and I FaceTimed with this girl for 2 hours. It went really well. And I was like, you see? He's like, I didn't waste any money. I'm like, exactly. You know, like, you're the captain of your own dating experience. Like, you run that show. And if people want to meet you with what you're willing to give, then hey. If your criteria is like, hey, we need to have a couple phone conversations before we go on a date, there's going to be people for that. You know, just like there'll be people who are wanting to, you know, and I know so many, you know, people who are like, oh yeah, it's free dinners, it's free dinners, it's free dinners, it's free date. I'm like, girl, I don't got that energy to be wasting free dinners and free dates. Like I'd rather have a good conversation with someone than a free dinner. Like if you're struggling that bad, there's a food bank. If you need dinner that bad, go to the local food bank and they'll provide you with some veggies and some food. But what I'm not going to do is just go on a date for a free dinner. And I think that's where a lot of people get caught up at. They're like, oh, well, I'm not losing anything. I'm getting a free meal. I'm like, girl, no, you could be reading a book. You'd be going for a hike, going to the gym. What I'm not going to do is be sitting in front of someone and have a shitty conversation with them. But yeah, anyways, that guy, I was so happy and proud for him. I was like, you see, like, there is positiveness in online dating. I truly believe that. Even I've had some bad experiences as far as like, you know, I mean, non-communication, or you think it's going well, it's not. And my other thing when it comes to online dating is not getting caught up in it. It can be so easy to get caught up with the dating pool because there's so many people there, and you can get caught up with what they're telling you. I mean, I've heard it all from online dating. I've heard, oh, you're this, you're cute, you're gorgeous, your eyes, your smile. And I'm not saying that I'm like cocky about it, but you can't get caught up in that feedback because then you lose sight of what you're there for. Like, I'm not there to be complimented online dating. I'm there to find a partner, right? Like, I'm not there for people to tell me I'm pretty or I'm this or I'm that. Like, and although that it doesn't hurt the ego, but what I've been seeing with some of, the people that I hang out with or I talk to is they're getting caught up with that, and they're getting caught up with the emotions. They're getting hurt. They're getting heartbroken. He said that I was pretty. Girl, he's telling you and 30 other women the same thing. Yes, you are pretty, but you're not the only one he's telling that to. And I have to take it for face value with online dating because it's not easy. It's not easy being single in 2025. It's just not. It's not. We live in a very hookup culture. We live in a very fast culture where it's like, you're not giving me my needs, I'm moving on. So you're dealing with people who want this monogamous relationship, and you have to start off with healthy boundaries. I don't think you should go from 0 to 10 right away. Like, I would always tell this guy that a friend of mine, he would fall fast. Men fall really fast. Straight men fall really quickly for women. Like, when they crush hard, and they love bomb. Not all, but a lot of them. At least some of my straight male friends. And he was falling for this girl, and he was like sending her flowers, and he's like, he's like, oh my God, like, we had a great conversation, and what's next? And what's next? I'm like, dude, relax, marinate in that good conversation, marinate on the FaceTime call, marinate in y'all talking. Because what was happening is he was getting so caught up with how he was feeling at that moment and was ready for the next moment, right? So they went out bowling, and he was so excited about that. And when he called me, he was like, Paul, oh my God, it was this, it was that. And then he's like, what's next? And I'm like, dude, like, don't rush into what's next. Relax, chill out, chill. Marinate in it, and then figure out what's next. But we're always chasing that high because we want it. Of course, we want to feel the feeling of euphoric, the feeling of the butterflies, the feeling of romance, and like in the movies, the Jack and Rose, those like iconic movie scenes. But those are not forever. So when they are there, you got to marinate in them, and you got to sit in them. Let it all go through instead of thinking, okay, what's next right away. It's important to think what's next, but not like the next day, So anyways, that friend of mine, it didn't end up working out with that girl. But, I think what it was with him is that he was falling harder for her than she was for him. And at that point, he was just looking for anyone to love him. And that's another thing, too. Because it's instant gratification online, you get that instant, you're pretty, you're cute, you're this, you're that, you're amazing. Like, you get that when you're dating online because it's accessible. You're just a click away. And for me, would I like to meet someone organically? Absolutely, I would. I would love to meet someone organically. Us picking the same apple at the grocery store, us being in line at the DMV, and we just talk and start up a conversation. But the reality is this: we live in a very fast-paced world. It's too fast. I mean, it just is. And even for someone like myself, who's always on the go, keeping busy, always moving, it's hard to kind of just, find someone to and serendipitously, find you when the right moment and whatnot. And I was watching the movie Serendipity, and I use that word a lot because I love the meaning of serendipity, right? Like a serendipitous moment. Like it wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened because of timing, because of where you were at, where they were at. We were both at the same, park walking our dogs, and then we had a conversation, and then now we're in love. I think maybe 15, 20 years ago, that was more possible. But now in 2025, those odds, although they can happen, they're just a lot slimmer, right? Because when when I go again, if I take my dog to the dog park, there's someone walking their dog, but they're also on a work meeting, or they're on a conference call, or they're on a conversation with their parents. Like everyone's doing 2 or 3 things at one time now. That's the problem that we live in, or the world that we live in. Like you're driving to the gym on a work call, listening to a podcast. I mean, there's just so many things happening at once now. So it is going to be harder to date in 2025. It's not impossible, and for me, I'm never going to give up on dating. It's just right now, it's challenging. And I wanted to talk about it because it's something that I don't think people have ever just figured out. I don't think people have figured out how to properly date online. And again, dating in 2025 is rough. My older sister always tells me, like, if me and her partner, if we don't make it, like, I'm not dating again. Like, I'm just never dating again. I know a lot of people who say that. Like, if the relationship they're in right now doesn't work, that they're never going to date again. Because it is hard. And it is work. Whether people are like, no, it's not work. Yes, it is work. It is work to date. Effort is work. You just can't sit there and expect everything to happen. I know for me, it's not easy. Like I have to put effort in. I have to put ego aside and pride aside. But if you're out there right now and you're single, and even if you're not single, even if you're just like, again, in a situationship, or you're married, or just think about it. Like when you were single, like how was it for you? And yeah, so again, for anyone who's single out there dating, don't give up. Don't give up. Is it hard? Yes. Are there douchebags out there? Abso-fucking-lutely there are. My God, like if I could have a conversation with all of my single girlfriends about dating, it's not easy. And I always just tell people, like for me, I am going to dictate what's going on in the dating world for me. And I think you should do the same. Don't get caught up in the dating world. Don't get caught up with a guy over an app. Like, don't do it. But yeah, if you're out there, and go on multiple dates if you need to. I know for me, there's been times when I've been on, I'm not even joking. Like, this is a real talk. There was one time I went on 3 dates in one day. We had a Starbucks date in the morning, a Chipotle date in the afternoon, and then we went to like the park or something with another. I mean, yeah, but that's part of what you do when you're dating. And when you are dating, be the best version of yourself too, though. Like, don't lose yourself. And that's another problem people come across. They start, oh, I'm not going to the gym today. Why? Oh, because he wants to go on a date. No, bitch. No. He can meet me after the gym. Like for me, I was dating this guy over the summer. Cute guy. It was what it was. We had a good chemistry, cute guy. Nothing long term, just cute, fun. It was like a summer lovin' Grease type thing. And I remember one time we were going to go to an escape room, and we went to the escape room, and he was like, oh, can we go like early? I was like, no, like we're going to go after I'm done with the gym. We can go. He's like, what? I was like, yeah. And that's another thing. Ladies, gentlemen, if you're listening, do not stop doing what you're doing to go on a date or for someone. Like, you gotta hold those boundaries in play, because what happened? Although I really did like that guy I was dating, it didn't work out. But my schedule wasn't altered because I wanted to go to the escape room with him, so I had to skip the gym. I didn't have to alter things that I was doing with my family because I wanted to be with him. Don't do that. Do not do that. Don't alter your life for a piece of ass or a guy. Like, don't do it. Continue living the life that you live. Like for me, when I was in school, I was like, hey, every Sunday I have a study group. Oh, can we meet? We can meet after. But I'm not going to dig into my time so that I lose my study time. At the end of the day, if I fail and I don't get my degree, that's on me. Now, it was stupid that I listened to your ass and decided not to go because I wanted to have some fun and play around with you. But that's on me. So set those boundaries. Ladies, I'm talking to you. Ladies, set those boundaries. If you're doing Pilates, if you're doing yoga, if you're going to the gym after work, you tell him we can meet after the gym. We can meet after Pilates. We can meet after I take my son or daughter to the park. Don't be merging shit. Oh, you want to go with me and my son to the park? No, bitch. You want to go with me and my daughters and my family? No. No. Do what you need to do. And if he wants to be there after, then great. But I see too many people altering and navigating and fucking switching their calendars around for a guy or a girl. No. Don't do that. Do not do that. Especially with online dating, I see it. Oh, Paul, he wants to meet me at 6. Girl, don't you have the gym? Well, yeah, but I just want no, bitch, you can go at 8. I remember I've been on dates I've been like at 10 p.m. showings to the movies because no, you're not going to rain on my parade. One more story and then I'll go. But I was dating this guy. I mean, this guy was gorgeous, cute, gorgeous. I mean, everything. We had great chemistry. It was during the holiday season and he didn't have family here, right? Good guy, sweet guy, but toxic. Let's be honest. He was a toxic man. And it was Christmas time. And he was alone on Christmas. And he asked me, like, hey, is it okay if I spend Christmas with, like, can I go with you, with your family? And as much as I would have loved for him to go with me, be my plus one, Paul finally has a guy. He's usually single. Like, I said, you know what? As much as I would love for you to do that, I don't think it's appropriate to have you meet my family on Christmas Day. We're opening up presents. I have my nieces, my nephews there. My family's there. I said, what I will do is make you a plate of because we had like brisket and, rice and beans. And I said, at desserts, I'll make you a plate. And after I'm done with my family, I will go visit you and send you a plate. And that's what I did. But I wasn't going to have him come over and be part of the family because that was not it. I was not going to play house. But we know, ladies, I'm talking to you. You know you like to play house. Real quick, I'm like, what? Who's this guy? They have one guy on Thanksgiving, another one on Christmas, and another one on New Year's. I'm like, girl, come on. But yeah, for me, I was like, no. As much as I would have loved for him to be there and me play, us be together, hugging and photos, I knew that wasn't appropriate. I knew I really liked this guy. He was hot. He would have been good arm candy, but no. He wasn't going to be there hanging out with us on Christmas, But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. And if you're dating, if you're single and dating, please set those boundaries. Make sure that you're putting yourself first. Don't give up your plans. Don't give up anything. If you want to go back to school, you know how many women also I know that have dropped out of school because of a guy? Oh, he didn't like my school schedule. Excuse me? No. Oh, it was too early of a class and I couldn't see him. Girl, get it together. Please. No. Get it together. Oh, he wanted to see me at 6 p.m. and my class was at that time. Okay, girl, when he cheats on you and leaves you for another person, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen when you're stuck in the same position because you decided to not do school anymore or take that promotion. Do it. Do not stop. This is for the guys out there too. Please put yourself first. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening, and I truly appreciate if you could share this episode with anyone who is experiencing a hard time dating and just needs someone to listen to or hear some positive stuff. Please share this, guys. I want to thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode.